If you've ever wanted to know how to print your own money, then you've come to the right place. Hello there, you beautiful people, and welcome to this lecture where we're going to be making a coin object using a class. So the first thing we're going to do is create a class that will be a template for a £1 coin. And then we're going to create our very own object, our very own £1 object, and play with it to see how objects work in Python. And by the end of this lecture, you're going to know how to create classes, how to instantiate objects, and also how to access a class's variables using an object. So it makes more sense when you see it. So let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new script called coins.py. So on the desktop, Python Bible, coins.py, save it, maximize it, we're good to go. Now in here, we're going to create our class. The template we're going to make is for a £1 coin. So to make a class, we need to use the class keyword and give the class a name. Now class names in Python by convention start with an uppercase letter. So we're going to type the class keyword in lowercase and then pound in uppercase and type a colon. You don't need brackets like this. You don't need any of that business, just a colon. And that's how you define your class. Now our class is basically going to have 6 states. It's going to have the value for the coin. It's going to have the coin's color, the number of edges the coin has, the coin's diameter, the coin's thickness, and whether the coin is heads or tails. So let's go ahead and make those states right now. So a pound coin's value, by definition, is going to be £1. So let's make that as a float. We're going to have a variable in here called value, and we're going to set that to 1.00 pounds. Now the color for a pound coin is gold, so I'm going to have that as a string. Because a pound coin is circular, it has one edge, so num edges equals 1. And according to Google, a pound coin's diameter is 22.5 millimeters. So let's put in diameter equals 22.5. And let's put a comment that that's in millimeters. And also it is 3.15 millimeters thick. So 3.15 millimeters. Okay, finally we need a state of whether it is heads or tails. Now I'm basically going to create a boolean called heads. So I'm going to say heads equals true. If heads was false, then that means it's tails, right? So heads is true is what I'm just going to settle with here. And there we have it. We have 6 states inside of our class to define our coin. Let's leave out methods for now and just make our very first object. So remember, an object is just an instance of a class. So to make our object, we simply need to give it a name. So let's come down here outside of the class and let's just name it coin1 and make that a pound, just like that. And that's it. We'll now have our first pound coin called coin1, and we can see the type of it. Okay, so let's print the type of coin1 and save and run that. And we're going to see it says it's a class of pound, which is fabulous, okay? That's right, ladies and gents, we've made our very own variable type, our very own class. Now, how can we access these states? Well, what we can do is we can type our object name in the shell or here. I'm going to do it back in the script. We can type our object name, so coin1, and then a dot or a period. And you can see if you wait long enough, something pops up here. You can kind of select all of the different states inside here. So let's say if we want to print the value, we just do coin1 dot value like that. No brackets, nothing like that. Just coin1 dot value, and let's print that out. And let's delete this print statement here and save and run that. And you're going to see 1.0 comes out. Awesome. So what about the color? Well, I can do it in here to say what coin1 dot color. It's going to say it's gold. Now, what if we wanted to change these values? Okay, well, you can change them. Let's say our coin rusts a little bit and goes a greenish color. I can just say coin1 dot color equals greenish. Now, if I look at coin1 dot color, it's going to say greenish. So that has indeed changed. But now watch what happens when I create another coin. Let's say coin2 is going to be a pound. Okay. Now, if I print the color of coin1, as we know, print coin1.color. That's just going to say greenish. But watch what happens when I look at the color of coin2. So print coin2.color. It's going to still say gold. And this is the difference between objects and classes. Classes are the base template that all new objects are made from. Once an object has been made, each object can have its own unique characteristics depending on what you do with it, and it's independent of other objects from the same class. Amazing, right? So for example, if for some reason a greenish coin is more valuable in some weird world, we can set its value to 1.25. So coin1 dot value, let's say it becomes more valuable and it becomes £1.25. And we can see that coin1's value has changed, but coin2's value still remains the same at 1, which is amazing, right? Coin1 and coin2 came from exactly the same class, but now as objects they can behave independently. Awesome, so in this video we've created a class for a pound coin and given it some variables to represent object states. We also made several objects from that class and saw how to access and edit those object state variables. More importantly, we saw that the class is the template, but once you have the object, objects behave independently from each other. We made a lot of changes to each object state, but what if we wanted to make all of these changes to states happen automatically in one line of code? You know, to make objects a bit easier to deal with. Well, for that, we'll need to make class methods, which are up next. So I'll see you in the next video.